Welcome to another IoT intro video. I'm your host Ulno, and today we will talk about how to connect the RFID reader to an IoTempower system. We have here our setup. You can basically see we have the RFID reader that we want to connect. There's a VMOS that we are connecting it to. We have the normal gateway set up, but you could just have another system that has an MQTT server and runs IoTempower for it. But for simplicity, we are using the Raspberry Pi image here to run the whole system. And here are the tags that we will use for testing the system. Software-wise, we will use Cloud Command environment to flash the devices, and we will use the Node-RED to actually interact and test that our system was successfully built. But first we need to actually check how can we connect to the RFID reader. So we have to actually check here the commands, and there is RFID, and we go onto this, and this is the MFRC522. It's one of the cheapest RFID readers you can get for the Arduino environment. And here you see it's very easy to use. It's just one line of code. Complicated thing is actually wiring it up. And as there are kind of conflicting wiring instructions for it, I have given the pinout here, and we will just follow now the pinout to do the actual wiring for ourselves. So, fortunately, this is an SPI system, and we need to do a lot of wires for this. So the first thing we're supposed to wire is 3 volts. 3 volts is up there, and 3 volts is here on this device. And so the next thing is actually D8 to SDA. So D8 goes to SDA here. And then we have D7 to MOSI. D7 to... Then we have D6 to MISO. The next thing is D5 to SCK. Then we have D0 to reset, D0 to RST, and then we need ground. We need ground to ground. And we should have, of course, disconnected this first before we wired it up, but as I was very careful, we could wire it live. So you see only one pin is not connected. This is the interrupt pin. So this should work. So let's flash it and see if we can make that work. Good, so we've done the wiring. So now we have to do the programming. So let's kind of copy the example and make a new node. Let's put it in our test room. And here we make a new node. With F2, we get our menu, create a new node folder. Yes, we want to. Okay, there's a new node. And in this new node, call this the door. And the door has our reader in there. So we edit this file here. Need to have this copy here. Cut, copy, and paste sometimes seems not to work in Google Chrome. There we go. So we save this. Let's call it reader, it's fine. And then we need to flash it. And it's the first time, so we have to initialize it. So let's flash it. To initialize serial. Okay, that was successful. So now it needs to reboot. And let's kind of go to Node-RED and see if we see already something. So let's clean this here. And there we see, we get none on test room door reader PICC. So let's now put a tag on there and see if we get something else. I take the little tag here, and I will just put it on here and remove it again. And see, we said got here a UID and a PICC on there. I will do this again. You see basically in the moment when I put it on there, it gets the data here. So let's get these topics, this test room reader UID, and basically when this is something else than none, we can use that to identify things. You also get the content on there if it's a MyFair reader, but for lots of tests it's enough to just use the UID. So Let's change the topic here to actually the topic we are interested in, test room UID. Then also add a filter here. And then we only get things when things change. We delete everything again. So I get one none. I put this tag on here and remove it again. So we got the D30 stuff, and I will also use now the other tag. Put that on here. And see, it's a different one. It's 93C732. And now you can use the change node and make decisions based on this. That's all you need to set up an RFID reader under IoTempower. So as you see, main problem is wiring it up, then flashing it, and then you are done. So that's all for today. Let's stay tuned, and until next time in the IoT Empire. Ciao!